Hello there. My name is Miki Wright, and I want to welcome you to the Beauty Superstars Talk. And actually, your backstage pass to beauty. Why am I getting goofed up here? Hello, everybody, again. I do know my name. It's Miki Wright, and I want to welcome you to Beauty Superstars Talk. It's your backstage pass to experts in beauty. Last year, the world went into a tailspin, and here in the beauty industry, as well as so many others, we experienced the shutdowns. Being closed without the ability to generate income the way that we normally do, and considering how closely we work with people, it gave us all time to pause, and for many to ask, do I really want to go back? And for some people, that answer was no, or I'm not sure, or I don't think so. So whether your answer is yes or no, we do have something special for you tonight. We have industry legend Tomeka James. So I'm super excited. Hey, Tomeka. And so she's going to share her story, but she's also going to share some ways for you to transform or maybe even retire completely from working behind the chair. And she'll answer the biggest question of all, like, how do I replace my income? So I'm really looking forward to that. And I hope that you've had a chance to catch my Black History Month tributes. I am Black Hair History. And if not, please follow me on Instagram at Miki Wright and on Facebook at Salon Biz Coach to learn about some of the greatest Black artists in history of the beauty industry. So I'm super excited about that. The response has been pretty phenomenal. So check it out. We're here actually continuing our Salon Success series. We still have more amazing guests to come. And this series is actually dedicated to the health and wealth of the salon industry. And we have something for everyone, I think. We're here to help you navigate this unprecedented time. And before I introduce my guest for tonight, next Tuesday, I'll have Diane Stevens. And she's actually owned her own salon in the Washington, D.C. area, actually two of them, for an amazing 19 years. And she's weathered several of these storms, not a pandemic, but she's weathered quite a few things. And she's going to share with you hope for shattered salon dreams. It's like, if it's not looking the way you thought it was going to look, how do you pick up the pieces and reinvent a new dream? So definitely plan to join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And tonight, we're going to get to know this powerhouse that we call Tomeka James and hear how, if we want to completely leave styling hair, or if you still love it and you can't imagine living life without styling, it's like you can actually be able to add an extra stream of income. So in the event of, hopefully we won't have that again, but another shutdown, you'll be straight. So we want to get to hear her story in just a few minutes. And if you're here for the first time, I want to say welcome and thank you for being here. And for everyone else, welcome back. And I'm super grateful that you're here, whether you're watching us live or whether you're catching us on the replay. So I definitely invite you to stay tuned. Again, my name is Miki Wright, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our new Beauty Superstars Talk podcast, which is on Apple/iTunes. And definitely, I'll leave a link in the comments as well. So please follow us and tell your friends. And every week I have the privilege and pleasure to meet with so many amazing Black beauty bosses who are making their mark in the beauty industry. And I want you to know that we're just getting started, that this is really actually more than a podcast or an interview show, but it's actually a movement to encourage Black excellence, entrepreneurship, and preserve our history, as well as bringing healing to our industry. So how did it all get started? It was actually born out of the tragic murder of George Floyd, racial tensions that erupted right after. All of that quickly spilled into the beauty industry, which after churches is still one of the most segregated industries in the country. So during that time, I actually had the honor to be part of several Zoom calls where there were top Black artists, and we were able to meet each other and share stories and really, figure out where do we go from here. But for many, there was pain, over subtle and not so subtle racially charged events. But because they were there, it's like they hadn't let it stop them. And so I left there feeling super inspired and with a sense that people have to hear these stories. And so I've expanded my platform to provide a safe space for Black artists to tell their own stories. And I've had the pleasure personally of doing almost everything in the beauty industry. Starting as a very struggling hairstylist and becoming an award-winning hairstylist in not too short a time. And per Salon Today magazine, owning one of the 200 fastest growing salons in the country, as well as helping thousands of other stylists and owners to get more clients and make more money. And that I did as a national educator. And I'm also second generation in the business. My mom is in the industry. My sister is in the industry. And basically, you could just say that I love the beauty industry. And so I'm super grateful for the industry, for the legacy, and for the entrepreneurship it provides. So without further ado, I want to welcome my guest, Ms. Tomeka James, and I want to share just a little bit about her, and we are going to jump right in. So Ms. Tomeka James is a powerhouse in the beauty industry. As a hair replacement specialist, international educator, and creator of several popular weaving techniques, she has thrilled audiences at hair shows from coast to coast. Through her online education, she's trained even more hairstylists from all around the world. For the past 10 years, stylists, weave artists, and hair replacement specialists have flocked to her signature event, the Extensions Expo trade show in New Jersey. She's motivated, driven, and committed to helping others succeed and learn to value themselves. With all the events of 2020 disrupting the status quo in the beauty industry, as well as everything else, she again is on the cutting edge and an answer to a prayer for hairstylists who have decided they've had enough time behind the chair. So they still know and love beauty, but want to transition to something else. And that something needs to be able to replace their income. Tomeka has some answers, and they will even work for the stylist who loves being behind the chair. But after experiencing the shutdowns of salons, realize that they just may need to add another stream of income. Well, Tomeka says the future is digital. So she's utilized it for years. And now on Beauty Superstars Talk, she'll not only share her story, but she'll spill the beans on how you too can gracefully transition into the digital marketing world. So I hope you have a pen and paper or you got your tablet out. So without any further ado, hey, Tomeka.
Hey, Miki, how are you?
I am great. I'm super excited that you're here. We have known each other for years and years. It's hard to even imagine or count up how many.
Yeah.
But I'm always super excited and super proud of you and all the things that you've done in the industry. And I know that you started in the industry pretty young, but I don't know all of your story either. So tell us, like, how did you get started in the industry?
Getting started way back then.
Way back then.
I was about 12 years old, and
Wow.
I really just loved making people smile. That's been the thing since then. But I really loved exploring and creating things. I mean, I created techniques back then. I
Wow.
remember this thing where I used to make braids, literally like make twists and then braids and then stick them on. I mean, I was doing all kinds of things back then. So yeah, I always had fun with it. And I was once again a person that loves to explore. So I would have a really good time creating new things. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was
Yeah.
the very beginning. And I did
Wow.
everyone's hair, my mom, my mother-in-law, my neighbors, my teachers. I did everyone's hair from
Okay.
the very beginning. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
was that was the beginning. Then I
Uh-huh.
had to go get my license because I needed my paper
Right.
after I've been
Right.
playing around for so many years.
I hear you on that, but that's excellent and very inspiring because there's probably someone out there now that's like, I've always been like that too. And it's like I just didn't tap into it. But yeah.
Mhm.
But you went from hairstylist, you're doing everybody that everybody that's in the neighborhood or what have you. It's like you went from there into weave, expert or weave artist or what have you. And then you elevated that and, I guess continued creating these techniques that are known now worldwide and have expanded into like educator superstar. And so how did all of those pieces come together? Because I know there's some folks out here who are probably wondering, it's like, I really want to do, I really want to be an educator. I really want to do, something bigger than being behind the chair. Not that being behind the chair isn't enough, but what was it that was, how was your journey or what did that look like for you?
Yeah, everything played into what I was just speaking about me being a creative and innovative. It
Mm-hmm.
all stems from there. So I never saw myself as an ordinary everyday person. I always found a back door or another way to do something. Didn't
Uh-huh.
even go to cosmetology school in a regular manner. I can tell that story as well.
Sure.
But I just always created. So when you have a creative mind, you have to do something with it. So you can't just keep these things bottled in. So if I can like fast forward through, I was a salon owner because I felt like I needed to be. I left New Jersey and I found out now in New Jersey, we don't have we cannot do booth rental.
Okay.
So I was definitely working with under other people when I was in New Jersey originally. But then when I left and moved to North Carolina, like about 2 years into my career, I learned about booth rental. So immediately I jumped into being my own boss and I learned about that. Then I came back to New Jersey 2 years later and I just refused to work for anyone. So I got my own place. And even then it wasn't normal. I came back and I'm like, I want to be a salon owner. I need to be, but I'm not ready for my own location. So I just kept my eyes open, ended up wandering into a nail salon, and the entire back of the nail salon was completely open. It was like half of the place was empty. So I said, hey, who owns this place? And what's going on back here? So they introduced me to the owner. This is a Korean spot. The owner, we get on the phone and I say, hey, I'm interested in starting my own business. Is that space available? And he said, yeah, it is. So he put in a sink and and 2 stations for me. So I immediately started working and then I hired an assistant. And then I was like, I'm busy. I have all of this space. Can you bring some more stations in here? So he did the build out. And then I ended up having 5 stations. That's how much space was in there. I hired enough staff till we filled up. And then I couldn't stay there because we were so busy and I opened a new salon. So when I say things were never on the regular beaten path, I was always off the beaten path.
Okay.
Now that's the beginning of me being a salon owner. I found other locations. I ended up getting my second salon because I was a competitor. So I used to compete. And this one time I didn't win. And everyone in the audience thought that we should have won. So I was sitting around after the competition and I ended up speaking to the lady who was running the whole thing. So we had a long conversation and I told her I was looking to move and she ended up finding me another location for my new salon. So I'm just saying, that story tells you that things seem to be going wrong, but look at where you are and look at the positivity that comes out of those things. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I can fast forward from there. I ended up really wanting to create a wig for myself because I had staff, but tired of waiting for someone to do my hair. So I wanted to find a way to create wigs for myself. So I kept thinking about it. I asked everyone in my path, and then I began to start to dream. And I would go to bed, and this dream literally was a reoccurring dream until it finished one day. I woke up with the answers of how to make a mold of the head. Okay. So from there, I was starting to educate, and then I found a way to start a class at a hotel. And when I finished the class, I said, I had 15 students, but this is not even enough. So I always wanted more. So from there, I said, I have this technique. So it was the wig molding plus a few other things I taught at that class. When I was done, I said, I need to share this with the world. And I ended up creating a video. So my digital age started back then because I had to, and this is like the early 2000s. So I created my first video and, fast forward from there, the video, it sold. And then I started making 2 videos every 6 months. I eventually had 40 videos. And then the digital world really kicked in where there's no more DVDs. We need to find another platform. So when I saw the curve happening before, I was like going out there trying to sell these videos and no one was buying them. I saw the curve. So I sought out a digital platform. When I found the digital platform, I started loading all of my current instructional videos in. And that was like the beginning of that part. So I'm currently up to over 90 some odd instructional videos on my digital platform. And that one is like so full. I have been doing other things ever since. So I know this is your interview, so I'll let you, rear me into the right direction as far as what we're talking about, because I could be talking forever because the story just goes on and on and on.
Right.
So,
well, we're here for the story. So, but someone is asking you to come a little closer. Are you able to come any closer to the all the way in there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we've got I just want to show a little bit of the love that's coming out already. So Dina Bruton said she's been waiting for this.
Hi,
Hey
Dina.
Dina. And two of my favorite hair people. Thanks, Dina. And Samantha gives us some love. And it's like there's a Facebook user. It's like if you want us to know your name, there's a little link at the bottom of where this is located that says you can give StreamYard permission to show your name, and we can see you and say
Yeah,
thank you.
we want to
Up
see
to
who
you.
they are.
Yep. She said you look beautiful
Oh,
wearing one of my
thank
favorite
you.
colors. Monet Everett says this great title really got my attention. And another Facebook user says Tomeka knows everything, which we're finding out is true. And then come closer. So and Rockstar Cuts is here. Hey Dewana. So welcome everyone. Thanks for your love. And it's like if you have questions, feel free to put them in. If you have comments, of course, keep those coming. And we're gonna keep on keeping on. So 2020, let's just kind of go into 2020.
Mm-hmm,
The world went upside down. And what was it like for Tomeka? It's like business wise, personally, working with stylists who are all over the country, splash all over the world. What was that like for you?
Well, my birthday is in the first part of the year. So when everything kind of started happening, it all hit me when it was my birthday and I wanted to go out to dinner. So I get to the restaurant, and that is when they said, we need a moment to seat you, and we have to make sure there's a table in between every other table. So they said we have to keep this 6 foot distance. And that was like the first time that it really hit me.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, I had dinner, totally nervous and everything. And then a week later, everything just shut down. And the craziest thing is that I thank God for my brain, because when January came in, something came over me and I created this platform, which was called WOCO, Women's Conference Online. And I
Yep.
said to myself in January, we have to find a way to bring people together to be able to network and also to be able to learn from a distance. We have to. And it also was a part of my life because I had been traveling on the road for many years. I mean, many years. My
Mhm.
first trade show was like 2004. And
Okay.
I literally was on a roll every month, either once to 3 times a month
Mhm.
from that point. So I created this thing and everything just kind of rolled in together. And I knew that things had to change. So it all happened all at the same time that this conference was built. And then I had to do my own conference, which was Extensions Expo. And I was like, what are we going to do? This thing cost me thousands and thousands of dollars just to run. Like, what's going to happen? So my brain went into overdrive trying to figure out what to do next. So once the shutdown actually happened, I totally, honestly, I was scared to touch
Mhm.
people. I
Mhm.
don't know about everyone else,
Right.
but
Mhm.
I was nervous. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't want to. I was living. Well, I moved now, but I was living in New Jersey, which was the second worst place to be in the entire country during
Mhm.
that time.
Right.
And the numbers were rising. Um, it was a point where I was nervous about everything. I would go outside. I even shot a video, and it was funny because I came outside and I was looking out like this, like, what's going on out here? I
Right.
really didn't want to come out. So I knew I had to shift. I don't know what else you want to ask me, but I knew that things were changing and I had to make some quick decisions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually, kind of felt the same way as far as the being in contact and connection with people like that. It's like I stopped doing hair in August, the end of August 2019. So I didn't have to make a decision because I was already not in the salon. But I was thinking if I were in the salon, I might be making a decision to not be going back. And I know that's real for some people. And I know other people are like, I can't even imagine my life without going back. And so I get it both ways. And I think with you working with so many people, were you in touch enough to hear both sides of that coin?
In regards to how other people felt.
Yeah, yeah. Your audience, is all hairstylists or primarily hairstylists, I'll say.
Yeah, I definitely had an opportunity to learn about how everyone felt because I immediately, when I went into overdrive, I opened up my camera. I went
Mhm.
live and I started talking to people. So,
Right.
of course, through live, it's like I'm on this end and people can hear me, but there was a lot of interaction. So,
Mhm.
one of the things that I did was I knew that, through human interactions, we needed to be able to communicate and just be there for each other. So I
Right.
opened up a space on Facebook, which was a Facebook group called Behind the Glass, because I
Okay.
knew we were all behind the glass, sitting there, looking out, wondering what the world is about to do.
Right.
So this group I created was all about positivity. So anyone that came in, I encouraged them to say, you could say how you're feeling, but we needed to immediately jump into a positive position. So
Mhm.
I created activities where we were reading books together. We even had live Zoom like parties. One
Right.
night we made drinks for everyone and they shared what they made. We just came together and shared. So that was the first thing that I did. And then I started doing Zooms for just everyone who wanted to have a voice about what was going on with them.
Mhm.
So people were sharing how nervous they were. Then I went into Tomeka mode and I went into educator mode. Like,
Right.
okay, I heard what you guys said that you needed. Now let's see how we can come together and let me give and serve the people with what they need. So
Mhm.
I began to find the accountant who needed to talk to people about their money. Like there were so many professionals who had not done what they were supposed to do, but who thought that was over for them. So I got my accountant to come on. I did a live Zoom on my women's online conference, and I had her to just give the information, help these people
Right.
because they think that it's over, but it's not. So
Right.
please give them the information. Then I got someone to come on who was going to assist people with stress management. And then we talked about how to reopen the salons. I eventually met some new friends during COVID. I have COVID friends that I would literally go hang out with that I never met in my life in person. And I wrote a book with three other individuals about returning to the salon after the pandemic. So I was busy. I was busy helping the people. I was busy figuring things out. I was busy. I didn't
Okay.
have a moment. I had maybe 2 days where I was down, like, oh my gosh. But other than that, I was up. I was ready to serve the people.
Right, right. Yeah, and that's something, it's like we look to, you as a leader, it's like other leaders in our industry, and it's like I feel like myself included, to really, it's like rally people at that time. It's like, to give solace and to find out what's needed and to really help people navigate it because I saw so much panic in the beginning.
Mhm.
And obviously none of us knew what was coming, but I was just feeling like if we can get through and stay healthy, we will survive this,
Right.
whatever this is. And so take a deep breath, calm down, let's make a plan and let's, start to take one step and put it in front of the other. So for you, where and when and how did the whole digital marketing piece show up, as a way to serve?
Would that be during the pandemic or prior?
A little bit of both.
Okay. So prior, it was in place because many years ago, I realized, I'll tell a quick story. I used to go skiing. And one day when I was out skiing, I said to myself, you know what? I don't really want to do this anymore because if I hurt myself falling down the mountain, it's gonna be a long time before I'm back together, and I'm not gonna be able to get the same amount of money that I would have made even if I have a specific insurance. I'm not gonna make the same kind of money when I'm down. So I said to myself, you have to do something now about that so that you always have money coming in no matter what. So my motto was, I will make money in my sleep.
Mhm.
So from that moment, I began to figure out how that was going to happen. So I tell people, when you are faced with a situation, your thing that you need to do is develop some sort of an answer. So when I decided what I needed to do about it, it was okay, you're going to create things that go further than you can, things that show up when you're not there. So first that was the videos. Then it became the digital videos, which were online, so people can click a button and receive it immediately, because it costs money to ship. It takes time to package those things, and it's just a lot of work. So that was one way that I looked at it. But another thing I started doing was educating. And because of the educating of other folks, I realized that I needed to create a team, because I couldn't be everywhere at the same time.
Right.
So because of the team and, having these people around, I found a way to help them to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So when you help other people, you're going to make more, and you're going to help people at the same time. So then eventually I started helping other people to create digital products as well. So that's something some people don't even know about. Some folks
Mm-hmm.
don't know. People don't need to know everything. But the digital was a spot where it could help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized a long time ago as well that computer technology was not going anywhere. I remember when they first told us that we were going to see each other on the phone, and I was like, no way. And it's here. So now when I hear things, my thing is like, we have to figure out how to get ahead of the curve before, you really know what's going on. So that's what started the digital thing. And I just got really excited about it and just kept going. So from there was this part, which was communicating with people, doing a live class without being in the same space. So there's no flight for anyone, there's no hotel, no one's getting dressed. So Zoom came along, and I started doing Zoom during, I would say, the what was that, Periscope days?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Periscope had this rhythm. And here's the thing that I would share with everyone. You have to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Either you get on the bus, or the bus rolls by you or over you. So during the Periscope days, it was this thing that was happening. It was a rhythm that you had to pay attention to, which was, you would get on Periscope and you'd be connected to all these people that you didn't know, and they didn't know you. And then, in order to stay in touch with them, because you couldn't communicate back and forth, they could only type on the screen. You had to take them to another platform. But once you got over there, Facebook Live just started. Facebook groups were kind of just becoming popular. Well, what do we do from here? I don't know these people. They're all over the country. How do I serve them? That was where we came up with doing the live conferences online. So I tapped in, and this had to be all of about 8 years ago or more.
Mm-hmm.
Tapped in, met a lot of people. You know, I don't like when people are counting my pockets, but that was the best money that I ever made when I started doing online courses. The
Mm-hmm.
best.
Okay.
Because what happened was, instead of getting 20, 30, 50 people in front of you, it could happen with the click of a button. And guess what? I never felt bad about it, because I was helping people. So what we have to look at is, it's an exchange. Information exchanges for the dollar. So, and every bit of information has a dollar amount on it, even if you choose to give it away for free. So that was the start of it. And then guess what happened next, Miki? You were live with these people, right?
Uh-huh.
But it didn't have to end there, because
Right.
the live class was now able to be recorded.
Right.
You had to pay a little bit more money, but it was able to be recorded. And then guess what else, Miki?
Tell us,
You
Tomeka.
can send the link to people after it's over. And you never had to promise them that they were going to get the link for free. So people had to pay for the stuff that was over.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. So
Love
that's
it.
when you asked about the start of the digital, it was
Mm-hmm.
it was there. It was providing a service for people who either didn't want to move around, or just couldn't.
Okay. Okay. So I get all the pieces there. I'm a stylist. I'm behind the chair. I know how to style. That's what I know. That's my life. That's how I make my money.
Yeah.
What do I do now? How do I go from where you are, or where I am, to where you are?
All right. So the journey is different for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but the answer is, you take a long look at who you are,
Mm-hmm.
what you know, what you're capable of, and you drop that on a video, or you do a live seminar and get people to meet you there. So either you're going to pre-record it, or you are going to ask people to meet you live, or you're going to learn which platforms, next you're going to learn which platforms that you can place these videos so that people can click the button and not have to talk to you, but still be able to receive it. So when I say you have to figure out who you are and what you are capable of, that doesn't necessarily only come in the form of I can cut hair or I can style hair. So what we have to do is look a little further. What information do you have that someone needs that you can pull together that they don't have to surf all over the place? So for instance, right now I can pull together, I did a live recently and I was talking about technological things that you need to run your business, which are things from your phone. So if I go live long enough, it could literally be a masterclass where I've given you enough information about 5 different things that'll get you on your way. So people pay for information so that they don't have to look in 5 different places. So you don't only have to know one thing. You can pull together a bunch of things that you know that take people from point A to point B, and provide them with assistance so that they don't have to keep poking around all over the place. So it could also be the fact that you've put it into the form of a book, an ebook. Ebook is an electronic book. It means that you pulled this information together, you wrote everything down, you organize it so it looks nice and pretty, and then you put it somewhere for people to be able to click a button and purchase it.
Right.
If you are in a position now, I know we have mostly cosmetologists listening. Mostly, I'm sure there are some other folks floating around. But whatever you know, you can take that and you can utilize it. If you ran your salon like you ran your ship tight, you can teach people how to do that. If you know real estate, which is what I wanted to go into, things about real estate, you can pull together information and you can sell that information. So you don't have to just be a beauty professional with beauty information. It's whatever you know. If you're a mom and you've been in the beauty industry and you've been running your house like a tight ship, and you know that other people don't know how to do that, that's a product right there. So you don't have to look at it with tunnel vision as if it's only about the beauty industry. It could be literally about whatever you know. What about a long time ago, I made a video about exercising. So beauty professionals generally don't take care of themselves. So if you're into health and fitness, you can make something about how to cook as a beauty professional. You can make something about how to prepare your meals so that you have time management as a beauty professional.
Right.
You can help people with cleaning their homes as a beauty professional. So much.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that I noticed kind of during the pandemic was that we did get tunnel vision, as a whole. It's like, I only know how to do hair. It's like, I only know how to do it if I'm standing in front of the person. And it's like, we discounted all of the other reasons that clients come to us.
Yeah.
And not really recognize it's like, that's a skill and that's a skill, being able to talk and hold a conversation, create these relationships, being able to, help the client to be able to style their hair. We don't have to do it for them. It's like, we know enough to teach them a little something. It's like, oh yeah, I have products. And it's like, I can't even do their hair without products. It's like, why don't I get those out? It's like, we kind of cease to think. And, some people I saw transition, surprisingly, maybe a lot of hairstylists are good cooks. So I saw some people, transition into, it's like, oh, I'm going to be making meals. It's like, people needed that and they were lining up and it's like, okay, what time is my pickup time? And it's like, you can do it, curbside or what have you. But there are so many things that we, like you say, know about and we don't always tap into. It's like, okay. Yeah. So thank you for that, for opening.
Yeah. And speaking of, thank you. Speaking of helping people who are at home, I mean, that was another thing that most beauty professionals really needed to tap into during the pandemic, which was helping them to understand how to do their own hair from home, sending them a care package that they would purchase from you, and you'd help them to understand exactly how to use those products. So, a smart cosmetologist could have just taken 5 products that she has that she would normally use and create a short, quick video, even doing her own hair or someone else in the house, and crafting a video that shares with them exactly step by step how to use these products. And that is what most people miss. We're so stuck on thinking someone else has already done it. No, they don't have your personal touch.
Right.
They know, like, and trust you. So the thing is, how do you take your spin and your personality and put it on the things that people who've been trusting you already, and giving them what they need? So, it's with technology too, charging a customer for a virtual session. Some folks did it and some didn't, but that was another way to make money with technology, So
Yep.
yeah, there's just so much,
Yeah.
These things still can be done too. It's not too late.
No, it's like, well, like you say, it's about serving people. So it's like, there's always a need, whatever that looks like. And a lot of us, to be honest, have clients that haven't felt comfortable coming back to the salon. So are we taking care of them? It's like, do we need to put something together, to say, it's like, here's how you take care of your hair. These are the products that you need. All of these things are really vital, for people, and build more of that relationship. Like, they already know, like, and trust you, but it's like when they, how they say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's like reaching out to people and saying, like, what's going on? I know you haven't been in. It's like, oh, I have to care for, my grandmother, or, it's like, I have kids that I'm homeschooling and I'm working from home and I can't get away. Or I'm just plain, I'm scared, I'm not coming out. So, how can I help you? How can I be of service to you to help you keep you looking good? Because we know as women, it's like, if we don't look good, we don't feel good, and we don't perform well either. So we're vital. Yeah, there's so many different ways to be of service.
That was another Zoom I did during the pandemic, was just sharing with people exactly how to take care of themselves at home. So I pulled together a few stylists, makeup artists, people who were into natural hair, into weaving, so that no matter what end of the spectrum a person was on, they were able to be assisted. So they could ask their questions. And what I loved about what we did, and I did that through Roco as well. I did that because we have too many people on YouTube right now who are non-professionals. And I really wanted the professionals to show up and help the people. So we're used to servicing a client, but what about helping just anyone who just needed that assistance, at home? So yeah, I think we just have to be crafty in how we do things, and we just have to, it's all about serving. When you go from the position of serving, you can come up with so many different things. I think the problem is people have to figure out whether there's a dollar amount on it for them or not. That's where everyone goes wrong. They, don't know whether to do that or not. But yeah.
So talk to us more about that. What does that mean?
It means that you have your space where you are totally, completely, utterly serving. Like, you have a space where you're not charging anyone for anything. But the reality comes in when you can't spend 24 hours a day being on live, serving, and you're about to just eat Cheerios because you can buy a piece of meat. So you have to put that into perspective. So for me personally, to feed the philanthropist side of myself, I go live and I assist people to a certain extent. But the rest of the time has to be spent in the business arena. You're still here no matter what's going on in the world, and you still have to support yourself. So anyone would be foolish to believe that they can just assist people without, making income, So, what I did during the pandemic was I did lower a lot of the rates for a lot of things. I threw in a few things that were just completely at zero. And I just kind of sifted in and out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so for someone coming from behind the chair, a lot of times we have trouble asking for what we should get paid for our hair services. How do we try not to make that same challenge show up again, and moving into something digital?
All right. A couple of things. Number one is to research, to find out what's going on in the world surrounding this particular thing in regards to what is the going rate. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two would be to surround yourself with people, around people who are doing that thing, who have had some level of success, so that you can you be able to ask questions and let them lead by example, and you kind of get the understanding of how it all really works. But I just caution you not to be under the wrong people who you may
Mhm.
think is, they're doing well and they're not. I
Mhm.
think we know when people aren't. It just depends where your brain is,
Mhm.
and where you come from in life, or what you've been exposed to, basically.
Mhm.
Whether you think that this is a lot or not. Because the funny thing is, I was listening to someone just today, just this morning. I'm in this business group. And one thing that the lady said was, the sad thing is some people don't know that they haven't reached their potential, and they think everything is okay. So they're kind of floating along and everything is fine. But there's so much more. Like, the word is abundance. There's so
Mhm.
much more here for us.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Okay. So what are kind of our first steps? And I guess you shared like with the digital marketing a little bit of like what it is, but how does it all kind of transpire? Like you said, you've got platforms, and I don't know if you have email list, and what are some of the things that we need to like start thinking about, or get with someone, like you to help coach us through? What are some of those things that take the client from being over here to being able to actually purchase from us?
Okay. All right. I love that coaching thing, because that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, when you get to a certain point, it's time to just help everybody else. That's pretty much it. So, how does it all work? Okay. In the digital world, the product must be created. And then once the product is created, we have to figure out where it's going to sit. Then, and let me back up with the product being created. There's some equipment that's needed. Now, it could be, in some cases, a really good phone that has a really good camera to shoot your content. I have honestly shot a lot of videos through my phone, but what
Mhm.
I did not do was make the mistake of believing that the old version of the phone was the best choice. So we want to upgrade our phone if that's what we're going to use. There are settings that you can set in your phone to give your camera the ability to be at its highest level. So
Okay.
there's a setting that you can click on. That's number one. Lighting is extremely important if you're going to be shooting, especially using a phone and not a professional camera. So I'd also say, for some, if you're going to use a professional camera, you may want to take a couple of courses that will teach you exactly what you're doing. I was talking to some people this morning about, don't jump in head first on everything until you've learned what you need to know about the thing before you start moving. So I'm
Mhm.
not telling you just open up your phone and just go crazy. I'm saying find out the details and then start moving.
Right.
So you've got either your camera, you've got some details about that. You've got the proper equipment that'll allow you to connect from the camera to a device to make it easy to transfer information, or you're using a phone. And then when you're using a phone, I'll tell you this: if you're using a phone, you guys should be writing some notes, okay? If
Yes.
you have an iPhone, you want to record the video, and you want to make sure that you store it in iCloud Drive, right? In iCloud storage, right? So
Okay.
to have iCloud storage, you're going to have to pay a few dollars every month. Might be $5.99, $9.99, depending on what amount of storage you have. But you need additional storage, because the phone is only going to hold but so much. So now you're going to have your storage, and then when you finish the video, you store it in iCloud. So it's easily reachable by the phone, or if you go onto I'll use a Mac. If you go onto your computer, you click on iCloud Drive. I'm sorry, I don't need to keep saying drive, but iCloud, and it opens up over there. And then you can work on the video from there. You need some sort of editing software, whether you have some on your phone or whether you have some on your computer. I personally have both, because the phone does take us really far, but there are some other things that some software that's on a computer can actually do for you.
Mhm.
We need to make sure that we do a sound check. So you might need microphones. Sometimes without a microphone, you'll be just fine as well. What else we need to know about? Miki, what was the question? Let me
Well,
make sure
like
I'm
the
answering.
Yeah, just walking us through the path of, how do we get the customers over here and we have this product over here, like you're showing us how to create the product. How do they get
Okay.
it?
So,
Payment gateways and
yes. So
platforms
now,
where it lives. Yeah.
okay. All right. So, whether this is going to be a video or you put yourself in position and you're on a computer, and I'll give away a big tip. If you're making a digital product that is like an ebook, you can easily use Canva. Everybody's using Canva. So
Mhm.
Canva, you can use that and create an ebook if you like. There's a lot of other places to do it, but that's one great tip. So
Mhm.
you have whether this is like a book or a video, and now you need to find a platform to put it on. Okay, so there are a lot of different platforms. I mean, some people are using Gumroad where you can upload the product and a person gets to click a button and download it. You also, let's see what other places that you can use that are very easy to work with. All right, I'll give you another one. We should all have a website. And
Mhm.
most websites nowadays have e-commerce connected,
Mhm.
or there are just plain old regular e-commerce places where you can put things. So your website. And before I forget, Shopify is another one where you can deliver a digital product as well, whether it's a video or an ebook. So everyone knows about Shopify. Shopify is a place for you to sell, but then will ask you to add other attachments to put digital downloads. So you click on the attachment, you bring it in, and now you're able to upload your digital product and deliver it. So once it's loaded into the background, the next thing you have to do is your Shopify account has a link, which is what is in the browser, wherever you are on a computer, on the phone, it's in the browser. That you grab that for the store or for the particular product, and you can literally grab that link and you can go right to your Facebook and you can say, hey guys, I have a new product. Click the link below. And you paste the link right there, and people can click on it. It'll take them right to your Shopify, and then they can purchase and they get to click download and they have the stuff in a matter of seconds. So back to the website. If you have a website, which once again, everyone should, if you're in even the smallest level of business, you need a website. So same thing happens on the back end of a website. There is a way that you upload a digital attachment, whether it is, so if it's a video, I'll break this down. Most videos have a format. It's either going to be something like MP4 or it might be .mov. So when you save the video or when you make it and you download it, it has an extension. So those are two. I won't go any further because there's others,
Mhm.
but .mov or .mp4. When you get to the platform where you're going to sell the digital product, you're literally going to load it in and you're going to check the platform to see if it accepts your file extension, .mp4 or .mov. All right.
Mhm.
So these are some little technical things, but when you guys start, you'll recognize what I'm talking about when you get there. You're like, oh, now I know what she's talking about.
Right.
So you load it in, you put your details, you get yourself a nice thumbnail, which is a picture that shows what it's all about. You
Uh-huh.
put that in, and then you price it and answer a few questions. Can they download it once or twice or three times? Can they just keep downloading it? Whatever you want to, say about it. And people get to buy it. These links for these products can go anywhere. If you guys are on Instagram, you should have a link in your bio. In
Mhm.
your bio should be a way that they can click and get to something that you sell. So if you do not have a link in the bio, please stop right now. Go put a link in the bio, whether it is a link to your website, which is where they can buy your stuff, or it's a link to your Shopify, or it's a link to a link tree or one of those platforms that provide you an opportunity to put several links in.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a masterclass right now. It sure is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So show us, give us some hearts. It's like if you've just learned something from what Tamika is sharing, it's like give us a heart because it's like she's dropping it and it's like I hope the dots are connecting for people. That's my hope. is that it's not going like, whew, it's like, oh my God, I thought I was going to be able to get out from behind the chair. And now it's like, oh, I'll never figure this out. But it is simple. And like she's saying, just take one step, one little baby step, start learning is first with everything. It's like, and some of this is very new for a lot of us. And so if it's new, like driving a car, remember when that was new? You know, you get in and it takes you like 10 minutes to get ready because it's like you got to check your mirror here and you got to do this and adjust the seat and make sure you're pulling the handle down into putting it into drive. And then, you know, you look back later and you're like at work. It's like, how did I get here? Because, you know, it's like you're so used to driving. It's like you didn't even notice that you did all that and you're there and you weren't even conscious the whole time. So we're going to have to slow walk things. This might take us a little bit for the learning curve, but take the steps. Start taking the steps. You'll get.
And I'm helping people with that. So, you know, if anyone needs assistance, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely, you're a great person to get assistance from. It's like that you understand the world of the digital part, because sometimes we can talk to people who understand the digital, but they're so far removed from where we are that we can't understand them. And so you understand being a hairstylist at the same time, and so it's a really good fit there. But one of the things I wanted to just kind of backtrack a little bit, because we're talking about the technical side, and you shared a lot of things that were not on the technical side, which like having a motto. You said something about that earlier, and how you know, like, I don't know, motto, mantra, that type of thing, where it's like you keep focusing on what it is that you want. And you mentioned getting ideas from dreams. Are there any ways that you would suggest for any of us to, you know, kind of better tune in? Sometimes we're getting signals and then we dust them off before we even receive them. Sometimes we're like so scattered and running all over the place that we're not even getting the signals. So do you have any kind of practices that help you to embrace that side of yourself?
Yeah, I do. One of them is exercising, because when I'm walking, and I vow to walk just about every day. So there are a few days out of my life when I'm not walking. But when I walk, and, you know, especially being outside, and even if it were just on my treadmill, the endorphins they're moving, you know, and I get to really think about just life, and things come to me at that time. So exercising, those of you who aren't doing it just because you just haven't, I'm just going to tell you, it'll really change your life. So that's one thing. The other is stopping to literally just stop moving and find a time when, you know, there's no one around and you must meditate. Because the problem that we have is, now I just told you about exercising, and that's one thing, but we're moving so much that our brains can't even catch up, and we're just doing. When you're just doing, you're not really able to receive what is supposed to be there for you, like what the creator is going to be able to give you. So you have to stop and literally sit still. So one of the things I do is meditate. I meditate quite often. And there are times when I'm meditating just because I need to be still, because I've been moving. There are times when I meditate because I'm ready for next level. And I know that I'm kind of in a space where I've done all that I could do right here, but I know that there's more. So I always know there's more. I always know there's more. So I stop and I meditate. Now, how do I do that? If there are people around, you have to make sure you organize it at a time when there are going to be no disruptions for at least 1 to 2 hours. The other thing that I do is I put earphones in with the sound 428HZ. So you guys can go on YouTube, and it's a meditation sound, and it's all about meditation and an abundance. And you put the sound in and you just stop thinking. Don't focus on anything. You just sit still and you just breathe deeply, and you close your eyes and you just allow yourself to receive. When you do this, the magic happens. Things that you didn't even know you were supposed to be doing, things that you were trying to get clarity on, it happens. But not enough people know about doing this, and not enough people actually sit still long enough to do it. So when I'm done doing that, take the earphones out, Usually I kind of get sleepy afterwards. I might take a nap, different times, different things. But after that, I am going to be with pen and paper. And whatever came to me, I'm going to write it. So I'm not necessarily writing at the time, because at that time, you need the full thoughts to come through and be clear. Because usually what happens when you're moving, you might come up with something, but you don't get clarity on it and you don't think it through before you start moving on it. So yeah, I'll wait until I get as much as possible when I start writing. Yeah.
Okay. Now you mentioned 2 hours. So how long would you say, like, the meditation part, on average for you?
So it's going to be a minimum of 20 minutes. It's not going to be any less than 20. And
Okay.
it'll vary, because sometimes your brain and your body will allow you to be there longer, and sometimes it won't, but it won't be less than 20 minutes. So
Okay.
it could be within, and now real meditation, like, you're not going to be in a meditative state for long. I wouldn't say probably more than 40 minutes, to be honest, because after that, you're going to like be ready to do something. But when I say this 1 to 2 hours, I'm talking about prepare yourself to not have anything to do. Your phone is off. You're not talking to people. You're not getting ready to get up and do anything. Like, you need to be still for that amount of time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you guys realize how powerful what she just shared was, because that's more powerful than learning about the website and the platform and the this and the that. So really, take some opportunity to tune into that part of your being and just be. Yeah, because that's powerful. And I think that it shows us, like, how you're able to be so creative, because I think creativity comes from the creator and through you in terms of a channel or a vehicle or what have you. But it can only happen that way when we tune in. Yeah. Yeah. So that stopping.
And we also have to stop having the self-talk that is very limiting. We have to move away from the current circumstances and know that there is more for you. It does not matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you see around you. Everyone deserves more. You just have to believe it, and you have to plan for it. You have to go for it. So I never believed that where I am is where I'm going to be. It doesn't matter how good things are going. There's always more.
Right.
There's always more. And this more is not in a greedy way. It's not. I mean, who said that people were supposed to be poor? Who said that?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I look at the poor part or the impoverished part as something that's happening or happened, or it's just a part of the learning part of your life. Things you were supposed to experience, so that when you get money and you get more things, you can appreciate them. That's what I think it comes from. But no one said you had to stay there or be there. No, no, I refuse to believe that.
Yeah, that makes me think about Ian Van Zandt. He talks about how we have valley experiences, so we won't be up on the mountaintop acting a fool. So
Hello. Won't be on a mountaintop acting a fool. I heard it said that before too. Exactly. Very true. Yeah, I believe that's what it's all about. I believe I was meant to learn a lot of lessons, which helps me to understand when something's going on. It's a lesson that I'm meant to learn for a reason. And honestly, a lot of my lessons are not even for me. Because of who I am and my position in the world, it's meant for, I had to learn this. I had to figure this out, because I'm like, God, tell me, why am I here with this stuff happening to me right now? So, and I learned not to say that anymore, because it's just what it is. But I realized that I'm learning things so that when I'm talking to someone, coaching someone, moving them through some stuff, I've been through some stuff. So you don't have to necessarily worry about me being a person that hasn't experienced anything to be able to help you. Because sometimes people don't want help from a person that's like it's just like having, now I had a male gynecologist. He just passed away. Oh my gosh. But it's kind of like having a male gynecologist. Like, some people don't want it because they're like, you never experienced this stuff. How can you be my gynecologist telling me what's going on?
Right.
So, we make choices on who we connect to, but that's that kind of theory. So things had to happen so that I can be able to assist people with things.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, I guess my theory is like anybody who's like doing stuff and, kind of out in the world has achieved a certain level of whatever it is, has experienced some stuff. It's like I say you don't fall on the top of a mountain. It's like you have to climb up the mountain to get to the top of the mountain. And so you're not gonna like downhill skiing where you're just going down. It's like, nope, you got to climb that thing. So it's like
Yeah. And just like, so I shared a little while ago about using iCloud storage. Well, I had to learn that your phone could crash, you could lose the phone, or your computer could crash. But when your files are in the cloud, you have a better chance at being able to get them. So here it is. There's a situation. I had something that I lost, and I learned that I needed iCloud storage.
right,
So I got it, and now I can tell people you need iCloud storage, so you don't
right.
have to go through what I went through.
Yeah,
So thank you, Lord, for
yeah,
giving me that experience of losing stuff so I can tell people what they need to do.
right, right. Ask me how I know, right?
Ask me how I know. I will tell you. Grief,
Right.
strife. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely always something to be learned. There's always a lesson. So, I think you're just saying, look for that lesson. And with kind of switching back to some of the digital things, what would you say would be like the first three things, if there were like three little baby steps that we can start to take toward this? Because I'm either in the salon and I'm like, now I'm really clear that I don't want to be in the salon, or maybe I'm still at home and I haven't transitioned back into the salon. And I'm really, it's like for a lot of us, last year was, oh my God, I get to be at home. I like my house.
I did
I
too.
like my kids. I like my family. And it's like, I've been
I
missing.
liked it a lot. I liked it a whole lot.
And we realize it's like, I don't want to be at the salon 12, 15 hours a day. It's like, even if I want to be at the salon, I want to balance some of the stuff out a little bit better.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be kind of a 1, 2, 3? I like to keep things really simple. Like what's step 1, what's step 2, what's step 3?
All right. Step 1 is clarity. So that meditation I spoke about, meditate, get clear on who you are and what you can bring to the table. So just write everything that comes to mind and pick the thing that's the most prominent. So that thing that you can share with others, that's the first thing. So what is your product going to be? Second is to develop the product. So in development, you must start writing. It's always going to be easier to do pen and paper. Start writing out what you believe how you can get this done. So creating the plan.
Okay.
And if it's a video or if it's a digital product, you got to get it started. You have to create it. Guess what everyone needs to know? Everyone is not going to be the person who creates their own stuff.
Talk to us.
You don't know. See, we're so stuck with thinking we got to do everything. So if it's a digital product, you could write the stuff out and send it out for someone to create it and make it look good. You don't have to do that, but you can. If it's about education, who said you were the person on the video? What if you have a staff and you guys work together and every person that's on staff shoots a video and maybe all 3 videos are sold as a bundle? There's someone great with cut, color, and styling. Y'all shoot 3 videos and y'all create 3 videos as a bundle and you all work together and sell those 3 different videos. Push everybody at the same time. Or the salon owner, maybe you don't do hair. You're not in the trenches and you communicate with some other folks and you help them to win and you have the product too.
Right.
So, and then picking your platform. So I gave a few, there are plenty more, but picking your platform will be next. And you get ready to start moving.
Okay. So those were really good. It's like, one, I had this clarity. It's like, that going back to who are you and what are you going to create? And like you say, meditating and getting clear and getting an open channel so you can see which direction to actually move. 2 was creating a plan, which a lot of times we want to skip past that part. It's like, I got the idea. Now I'm just going to start working on something. And I love that you talked about like delegating and not necessarily having to do it all on our own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to get stuff done where you don't have to become the expert. And the thing that came to mind is, like we're good at certain things and it doesn't take us long because we're good at it, but we're not good at other things and it takes us a long time. Like I had a coaching client. It's like, she's a really quick stylist, really great at what she does. And she can get a head in and out, like looking gorgeous, swinging, flowing, whatever. She's like, oh, I spent like 4 hours working on my website last night. And it's like the first paragraph is done. I'm like, stop doing that.
Make you want to go cross it.
Yeah, it's like, do you know how many heads you could have gotten out in 4 hours? It's like, take that money and pay somebody to to do it in 2 hours and you have the whole thing set up or something.
But I'll tell you, Miki, on the flip side of what you're saying. So yeah, totally. Like if it's not working, like please let it go. But on the flip side, it does take time to learn a new skill.
Right.
And I do know not enough beauty professionals have the technology skills. We just, a lot of us we didn't have to have them. I mean, we went to school, we did what we needed to do. We passed our tests and we started servicing clients. Didn't need it. So you're going to have to slow down and step back and learn if that's what you want to do. But if it takes you too long, as you just said, you're going to have to recognize that and just delegate it out. Yeah.
And I think kind of bridging both things, because it's like, you need to learn and you need to have like some working idea as far as how things come together and what someone that you might hire should be working on,
Right.
You're not just blindly hiring somebody and you don't have any clue what they're doing, or, they get back to you and it's like nothing like what you want. But, taking that time to learn how to do it may be too long. You may need to learn, what do I need to know about how to do it, and hire it out, if that makes sense.
Now I do a course which is teaching people how to build their website, because I built all of mine because I had to. I just had so much trouble that I had to learn how to do it. I had one particular person who kept saying, I don't want to do it. They don't want to learn how to do the website. And then I'm like, hey, come on. So when I taught them how to do it, they were off and running. So there's this space where you may not be sure of what you're capable of. So along with what you just said, get in there and see what you need to learn. See if it's a fit or not. And if it's not, then you move forward. But we don't have to walk away from everything. And we don't have to do everything. And then sometimes certain parts of the process you will delegate out. So you may think you should have done the whole thing, but maybe you just get someone. So for instance, with a website, there's a part of it which is writing your copy, which is writing the words that are going to be on the screen. Some people aren't good with that. So maybe you can build a site, but maybe you need somebody to write your copy. So you might not necessarily do the entire project. And even sometimes if you get a web developer to do it, they might not write your copy and you still got to figure out who's going to write the copy.
Right. Yeah.
So, there's just a lot in business. It's like, I just really wish there was a business class for beauty professionals. Like, I know there are things that are pieced out there, but like, I don't know if I'm birthing something right now. I'm getting ready to do something, to be honest. But, like, I just wish that beauty professionals knew way more about technology. I honestly do.
Yeah. I think it's been a long time that we have needed to know about technology. And now it's like smacking us in the face.
Yeah.
Because we haven't taken some of that time to learn. And, I've been, I know you've been talking about it for a long time. I've been talking about it for a long time. And we just got to embrace it. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So, how do you maximize it? How do you learn it? How do you, start to run up and give it a hug? Like, okay, you're here. Come on in. It's like, let's sit down. We might be here for a while trying to figure this out. But let's do it, because it's the way the world is. It's like, there's so many different things that you can't do that you used to be able to do without the technology. And everything is moving in that direction.
Well, I'll tell you how you embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that might happen, there are like 5 things that you really need to do in the world of technology that have to happen no matter what. And you decide, I'm not learning, I'm just going to pay people. Well, when you find out what they pay, you may be okay with it this time. But
Mm-hmm.
see, the action has to keep happening. So, like with your social media, you don't get around needing to post so many times a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, after you hire someone, unless you have the money to hire them for this, and all these 5 things, you're going to get to the point where you're like, they're doing this consistent action and my money is running out. Especially if whatever is happening isn't producing the dollars that you need, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to run out of money. That's when you're going to just have your back against the wall and say, I'm going to have to try to figure this out because,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spend all this money. So that could happen.
Right.
And that's when people start figuring it out.
Okay. Yeah, and I actually wanted to ask you, it's like we're kind of wrapping up, but wanted to ask you, how does social media tie into the digital marketing piece? Because that's been another area, and not to have a whole class about it, but just what are your thoughts with what we need to do and what we need to start moving toward?
It's all connected.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, digital marketing. I gave a little piece about it when I was speaking about the link in the bio on your
Mm-hmm.
Instagram.
Right.
Um, there's also, putting on your Facebook page, putting your Instagram on your Facebook, because people can click on your Instagram, on the link. Okay. So on your Facebook page, there is a place where you should put your Instagram pages that people can click on and go to them.
Okay.
Some people don't even know that because
Mm-hmm.
that's how some people get over there.
Oh.
But you got to know that these things exist. So if you're going to have a digital product, your social media has to be in order so that you get to promote to people who need and want the product or service that you have to offer. You know about hashtags and about SEO so that you can either allow them to find you, which is more with SEO, and hashtags is also for them to find you as well. So learning about those things that need to be worked on and connected, it'll get people to know who you are, so
Mm-hmm.
that you're not just doing something sitting on social media waiting for someone who might not come because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. So that digital product needs to have a home for people to click on it and just be able to purchase it from the social media. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to go to someone's house and knock on the door and say, hey, can you buy my digital product?
Uh-huh.
No.
Right.
You asked me earlier about some other things that people need to know. I actually have something free on my website people can go and get, which is learning how to build your text list.
Mm.
So right now, email is still doing well. It's still okay. But people are on their phones every second. So you can communicate with them best by texting them.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter where you are in business, you have to build your text list so that you have their phone numbers and permission, because they're on the list, to be able to send them messages. So it's another way of communicating.
Mm-hmm.
So you can send friendly messages out. You can send out deals. You can send informational things out as well. But it's a way to communicate
Right.
because they're going to click the link. So yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I have a membership, right? And I was thinking like, okay, they have a portal that they log into to get in every week and they should be fine. But I don't know why I thought that was going to be the case, that everybody was totally fine, because it doesn't work that way. So what I ended up having to do was to get my assistant to pull the phone numbers from all of the members,
Mm.
drop their phone numbers into the text list system, and we send out reminders to say, hey, here
Mm.
is a link for you to get into your portal tonight.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't want to have to do all of this stuff, but unfortunately people are really busy.
Yep.
And we have to catch them where they are right now. And
Mm.
if you're not paying attention to the fact that things are changing, you're still trying to call someone individually. And there is a system, that thing I told them about, they can go and get it for free, is there, where you can make a voicemail, and you call in and you leave the voicemail and it goes to
Mhm.
everyone at one time.
Okay.
You don't have to call them yourself.
Right,
Come
right.
on.
So that's at tomekasbeauty.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
What's on the screen? Exactly. It can go there on the front page. Just go down. There's the freebie there.
Perfect.
So these things are important to our businesses. So technology, text messaging, also still building the email list, which can be done with the text list builder too. You can get people's emails. Um, and just the fact that people need to find us on our social media. We need to be present. We
Mhm.
need to make sure they understand who we are and what's going on. Social media is still social. So as much as we're doing business, we got to mix it up.
Right.
So that's why I was doing my dance the other day. I was doing a
Okay.
jewel, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this has been absolutely amazing, Tomeka. It's like you have
Thank you.
definitely dropped some gems for us tonight. And it's like it's easy to see why you are a leader in our industry, a legend in our industry, and I'm super excited to have had you. And one thing is like I did want to just touch on, and it's like I know we're getting over time, but you got an award from the Bronner Brothers organization a few years ago, and it's like I know you were super excited about it. Just tell us about it and kind of what it meant to you, you know, in your heart and spirit.
Yeah, it meant the world to me to be recognized as Educator of the Year, the whole year, you know. So, uh, and I worked hard for it. I worked hard in the sense that I got up every day and took a look around to see what people needed in our industry. And I made a conscious effort to bring that forth. I made a conscious effort to determine how people wanted to be educated. You know, we have these three different types of learners, and
Right.
you have to hit on all of the different ways that people want to learn. So you can't just show them something, you know, and there's three. I'm not going to go into that.
Mhm.
But I worked really hard to be able to be recognized as Educator of the Year. And I'm just so grateful to Bronner Brothers for watching and recognizing that I was one of those who was working hard in the front and in the back, you know, and
Right.
I was also building other leaders. And, you know, one thing, I'm just patting myself on the back now. I saw a lot of, I've seen a lot of educators that have come up after me.
Mhm.
And it had to be like that because I've been in this for like, what, 20 years? So somebody had to learn something and work
Right, right.
themselves. But I've seen a lot and I've had a lot who have said, thank you, Tomeka. Thank you for showing up and showing up in a certain manner, showing me how to be professional, how to really assist people to the fullest, showing me what I needed to learn without holding back, which is what I won't do ever. I'm not going to hold back. So it was well deserved, and I'm just so grateful for it, you know. And so it's just a beautiful thing that I have, and yeah.
Yeah, well, we're so proud of you. It's like
Thank you.
very well deserved. It's like you've done wonderful, amazing things for this industry, and we definitely applaud you for sure. And you know, I say, you know, when we start actually the podcast, but you know, to be the best, you have to hang out with the best. And it's like I'm grateful to hang out with you, and
Yeah, we
grateful
do.
that others are hanging out with you as well. And like you said, becoming the next generation. So yeah, this is touching.
Thank you.
Touching and very powerful. So I hope that everybody has really enjoyed this. It's like if you have takeaways from this evening, to drop them in the comments below, you know, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. It's like we want to hear, you know, what struck a chord with you and what little steps,
I
little
want to
baby
see
steps.
their comments. What are they saying out there? What are you guys saying? What are you feeling? What are you guys thinking?
Well, it's like I saw, I'll show a few more. It's like, yes, meditation and yoga work. It's like we got some gems coming from Rhonda Moffat.
Hi, Rhonda.
And Tammy Jones says she's been working on all of this, such good info, but I'm not sure which exactly part she's referring to. And I think they put the
Yes.
42HZ.
Uh-huh.
So look for that. Someone asked, where do you find it? It's like, look for that
YouTube.
on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And Lewis Richard says, be encouraged. Thank you so much, Lewis. Kenyatta Ford. Thanks, Lady Gems dropped. Congrats, Tomeka, on your award.
Thank you.
and we have excellent information. So thank you guys so much for being here with us live. We'll look for the comments for anyone who's watching on the replay. This is Beauty Superstars Talk. Again, it's like join me for Black Hair History. As I am Black Hair History that I'm doing all month to celebrate 28 people who've contributed to the Black beauty industry. And trust me, it's hard to narrow it down to 28. It's like we've got to find some other ways to put all of this stuff together, all of this history, because it's so rich and it's just so empowering to know the shoulders we stand on. And if you've missed any of the previous Beauty Superstars Talk episodes, it's like you can go to my YouTube page, which is YouTube and / Miki Wright, which is 1K MIKI WRIGHT, or you can catch us on the podcast, which we have a certain number of them on there. We're continuing to upload them all the time on the Apple iTunes platform, and you can access us through Beauty Superstars Talk. And we are talking about salon success this month. There's actually nothing more important than keeping up with your numbers and your money. It's like I'm doing stuff, it's like if you have a great, pretty salon, it's like we can't talk about business till we can talk about your numbers. And so I have a program that's called Where's Your Money, Honey? And it helps you keep up with the money that's coming in and the money that's going out in really simple ways. And it is on special this month. It's only $29. So it's like you can visit beautysuperstars.com, or you can visit me, and the link on Instagram will take you straight there. But if you don't know how much you made in January, I would strongly suggest that you click the button and get a hold of it, because it's like, what are you doing for February if you don't know what you did for January? And again, Tuesday, I'll be back, regular time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I will be here with Diane Stevens, who is a fabulous artist and businesswoman. She's owned her business for 19 years, one of the top salon and spas in the Washington, D.C. area. And she's going to be here to share some hope and get us back on track. Wherever you are, come in. It's like you're going to leave, ready and fired up. So I'll look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Thank you so much, Tomeka, for taking time out of your day to really just bless us. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
everyone
having
have
me.
a great night. Take good care, and we'll see you soon.